Hey there guys, Meta Mike here, doing my first ever tutorial. We'll see how it goes. I am here today to walk through the process of converting a 3D model, in this case an FBX file, from the Ethereum Homies collection, which I'll show you in a second, and convert that to a VRM format, which is an open standard that is used for avatars. A lot of the communities within the Web3 space are utilizing VRM files to develop avatars around because of their interoperability in their nature, the ability to kind of use these avatars in different spaces and, you know, contain all the properties needed for each of them within the file. So to start off, I'm going to give you a quick glimpse of the Ethereum Homies project. Really, it's a wonderful project by Evian Watson, who is the project lead. He's designed all of these 10,000 3D models of the Homie Gs, each with a ton of unique traits. I've been working with him for a bit on this, and he was lucky enough, I was lucky enough for him to give me access to the 3D files. You know, they've got extensive roadmap that you can look through whenever you get a second. They're also building out sandbox characters, sandbox avatars for every model. I didn't really love this PFP to start with, but when seeing it as a sandbox avatar, I reckon it's probably my best, with all the animations baked in here that you get access to. You eventually get access to download these files. Let's see the running one. Yeah, I like the running one. There we go. All right, nice. So that is the project. Again, have a look at it whenever you get a chance. But going back to Blender, which is where we're going to be doing a lot of our work today, I'm just going to start a blank project. Again, I was lucky enough to obtain the FBX files of the base homie used for the project, so I am going to open the base homie. That will take a second, and here we are. We have the homie. What you can see straight out the gate is that it's a pretty sharp looking model. If I have a look, we are talking about 200,000 triangles, and when we're in these virtual worlds that we're going to be putting the homies into, we really want them to be more optimized, more lightweight, and gonna go through and kind of clean up the mesh to make it more suitable for the VRM file format, and more importantly for the virtual worlds that we'll put it in. So this, you know, I'll go through step by step, but a lot of it's just going to be watching me doing some cleanup on top of other things. So I'm going to start out with the meshes. What we can see here under the armature is that there's a ton of different meshes that we want to probably combine at one point or another. But I'm going to go through each and kind of join them. Now, I am no Blender expert. I am no 3D modeling expert. I am no expert in any domain, but I like tinkering with these things. So if I get something wrong, bear with me, or please let me know. I'm going to start out by combining all of the skin meshes together, because we want this to really be the body. So I'm going to relabel this body. There we go. Now if I go down to the materials tab, skin 1, I'm just going to call it skin, make things all streamlined and smooth. Now we have the eyes here broken out to the iris and the sclera. I don't know what that word is. So I'm going to join these. No, I need to do it the other way around. I need to join these. Nope, doesn't matter. I'm gonna get back to that in a sec because I do remember how to do it. I also forgot that I need to join these together, so now we have the body all in one. We also have the hair and the eyebrows and the mouth. I'm going to join them all together. And I'm just going to, these are two separate materials. I'm just going to keep things pretty consistent and just have a hair one. I don't really want this to be specular. I want it to be rough. Cool. Now, if we have a look here, we've got a really nice chain, really good detail on it. It's really well modeled. But if we look over in the corner here at this particular object, we're talking about 77,000 triangles. So it's pretty dense in terms of the mesh. It actually, if I look here, you'll see how the model shifts. So I just need to quickly go in to the armature, go to pose mode, and I'm going to clear the transform. So there we go, back on track. Back into object mode. Actually, did that do anything? I thought it would have. Pose, transform, clear transform, all. Control Z, pit. Fire up. Okay. And this is where I got stuck. Okay, so if I go back to, okay, now it's working. I'm really not sure what I did. Maybe I accidentally did something in between the steps, but this is where we should be at the moment. So when we go to the mesh, everything, where we go to edit mode on the mesh, everything is centered, nothing's moving. Cool. Where was I? That's right, the chain. So if we look at the density, 77,000 triangles. Now I could make this into a curved cylinder. I could go ahead and adjust it accordingly, which is, probably something we can do at a future state, but I'm just going to be lazy. Sorry about it. Delete it. You also see that I have the sweater here, but I've got this undershirt on. No one's going to see the undershirt, so I'm going to delete that too. Now that clears up about, what, 85,000 triangles, which is nice. So that just makes things a bit easier. You'll also see that underneath here, if I go into wireframe mode, you'll see that I have the body mesh right through underneath the shirt, the pants, and the shoes. That's great, but I don't need that extra geometry, so I am going to get rid of it. So let's just click here, make this bigger, and I'm just going to get rid of this up through here. I'm just being lazy with it to start. Then just gonna drag all that there. Cool. And I'm gonna delete that, delete the vertices. So now we got rid of about 20,000 triangles by doing that. And this is the not as fun part. Actually, this is really not fun. So what I'm gonna do is just go into edit mode and delete these edges. Actually, no, I want to delete the vertices associated with the edges, so now we have some gaps to work with. There's probably an easier way of doing this. Again, I'm not a Blender expert, so I'm just going to do it my way. That's why I should probably be doing it another way, but it's all good. Boom, boom, boom. And then we're going to X, delete the vertices. Now we've got something nice and relatively clean. May have done that up a little higher, but it's okay. I think that'll be fine for now. We can then go into the hands and do something very similar. So I'm just gonna go into the edge mode and delete those vertices. Yeah, that's pretty clean. Alright, zoom out a bit. Okay, cool. Now we've got a nice enough mesh to work with, and we're down to 40,000 triangles for the body, which is nice. Okay, so I'm gonna go through. I gotta remember why I can't merge these. Oh, that's why I've got to make a new material. So if you see here, this is, oh no, if you see here, I'm gonna change this to the iris, and what I'm gonna do is click here and copy that material. I'm then going to go to this region of the eye, which I can't remember the name of. I'm going to call it, so I'm probably got that so wrong, and you'll see that I've made it black, but all I need to do, sorry, just to take a step back, I went in, I pasted the material, but now I'm just going to change this to white. And now that I have this one and this one together, I'm going to join them, and we should be all good. Now we've got the hair here, so I'm just going to rename this hair. Got the eyes here, I'm going to rename these eyes. Then guess what? Pants are pants, shoes are shoes, and sweater is sweater. Cool. Just gonna make things easier for us. Since we're in unlit mode, we can get rid of the camera and the light. Excellent. So now we can take a look at the other geometry. I'm actually going to come back. Actually, no, I'll just start here. So what you'll see is a fair amount of density of vertices in the neck region and the hands. We don't really need that density, and it's just making the model more complex and heavier and less optimized. So I'm going to go to the hands. I'm going to go to both of the hands, and I'm going to go to my mesh. I'm going to clean up my mesh. I'm going to, actually I'm just going to decimate out the gate. So I'm no expert on, I'm going to keep repeating this, but I'm no expert on meshes. There's plenty of tools out there that can help, but I'm just kind of eyeing it to see when things start to become like, I think that's realistic enough. That's not, so I'm probably gonna go around there. So we're at 0.02. Yeah, that'll work. I can maybe go back later and change that up. That works for me. If I have a look now, it's a tiny bit janky, but it's all right. We're dealing with environments that need lightweight meshes, or as light as possible, so it's all good. I'm going to do the same here. I'm going to select the neck. Actually, I can reduce it to probably that, and then I can go mesh, clean up, merge by distance. Actually, not merge by distance, mesh, clean up, decimate geometry. That didn't work. And I actually did want to go and merge by distance, because what you'll see is that this is just, if I pull this down, or if I pull it up actually, now there we go. Oops, sorry. I should be entering this manually. There we go. That's probably little more optimized. I see this down here. I'm actually just going to grab it and pull it down. So in case someone sees through the neck, they can't really see the gaps in the mesh. Okay, perfect. Now I could clean up the ears a bit, but really there's nothing. I guess actually I'm just gonna leave it for now because I think we'll be alright. I'm trying to aim for overall about 30,000 triangles. The more you can optimize it, the better, but I'm gonna clean up and I'm gonna decimate this again. I'm gonna pull this up a bit. So, I mean, I think that looks alright. Let's just go take a look. Notice some little tears through there. Actually, let's go back and see if we can make it cleaner, because with this, there's no tears in the mesh, but let's see if we can just get something. How does that look? That looks a lot cleaner. Let's see what we can do on the shoes. So we've got 8,000 tries there. We can probably, again, just decimate it. How's that look? Yeah. Okay, so we're at 33,000 now. Looking pretty decent. This I can probably just pull down a bit. Okay, so I've got this right. We're at about 20,000 overall, which is nice. Again, you could go in, you could probably do a bunch in different places to get it down, but this works for me. So I've got my hair, and that is using one material. What I'm going through here is ideally I want to get this down to as few materials as possible. For the sweater, I am using a, let's go through this skin. Okay, that's named properly. That's named properly. Pants, I'm just going to call these pants. And I'm going to pick a nice denim-y dark color like that. Yeah, like that. I'm going to pull down the specularity. I'm going to make them rough, pretty rough. There we go. That's something. I'm going to make these even darker. Okay. Nice. And that's called pants. And then I'm going to call these shoes. And I'm going to make these. What are we going to do? I kind of want to make them like Timberland colors. Let's see if I can go in Timberland color hex. So I've obviously looked this up before. This is kind of the one I'm going for, so I'm going to grab that. I'm going to go in here, paste this in. Okay, so that is the color I want. It's looking a little bright, but that's really the color I'm after, so keep it like that. Got all the materials in place. Actually, that's right. I want to bring the specularity down. They're like a little specular, and they're kind of rough, but they've still got some reflection on them. Timberlands they are. Okay, cool. So this is my homie base model, my homie G. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to go File, Export, and I want to export this as a FBX. I do, right? Yes, I want to export it as an FBX, and I'm just gonna File, Export, FBX. Oh wait, I know one that's coming up. Because I'm clicking Auto Rig Pro FBX, I should just be clicking FBX. And what I'm going to do is going to go to path mode, copy, and embed the textures within the FBX. I'm just going to save this to my documents, and I'm going to call it base homie. Easy. Oh, you know what? That's why I need to get rid of that animation. Ah, shoot. So, actually need to clear this animation data first. Then I'm going to go to pose, and then I'm going to clear transform all. Okay. You know what? I really suck at poses, so I'm going to go to rest position, make sure that I've got this right, and export it again. Guys are probably laughing at me, being like, how don't you know that? But hey, I'm just starting out. Cool. So now, next step is we're going to go to Unity. We're going to install a package inside of Unity called UniVRM, which allows us to import and export VRM files. I'll actually just start a new project so we can go through this together. I'm going to call it base homie, create. And then while that's loading, you can go across to here with the Discord GitHub repo for UniVRM. Again, very simple, a Unity package for import and export of the VRM format. And if I go to download it, I can go here. I'm just going to download it. It's for Unity 2019.4 or later. I'm just going to click and download this to make sure I've got the most up-to-date version. Then I'm going to skip this. I'm going to go to my downloads folder, open up UniVRM, and I'm going to import everything. That'll do its thing. I'm going to check OBS to make sure. Okay, still recording. Fantastic. In the meantime, I'm going to go to my documents and pull up my base homie. Okay, and I'm going to drag that into my assets folder. It's going to ask me to use the linear color space. I'll say yes. It's going to do its thing again. Then I'm going to close this off, and you'll see up here now I have UniGLTF and VRM 0, which is good. This is what I want. I'm going to click on my base homie. I'm going to go over to the rig. I'm going to change the animation type from generic to humanoid. I'm going to apply this. I'm then going to go over to materials. I'm going to use the external materials legacy version, and I'm going to apply this. Okay, so now I have my homie. If I drag it into the scene, there the homie is in Unity. Now just wanting to double check, everything's there, the armature, perfect, all things are good. Now what I want to do is ensure that this is at position 0, 0, 0, which it is, but I also want to go to the hips and then change this to 0, 0, 0, 0. Cool. The next step is pretty simple. Basically, I've got to change the shader from standard shader to Mtune for every material that I have imported. So I'm going to go to Mtune, and I'm going to select that. I am also going to go to the shade color and go white. And that's that. I'm going to do this for all of the materials. Mtoon, shade white, okay. All right, excellent. Actually, that I don't know why this is gray. What happens if I change it to white? I'm just gonna leave it as it was. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. All right, cool. So now we have the base homie. It's all set. The armature's in position. The hips are in position. The materials have been changed, and the shade color has been changed. The material shader has been changed, I should say. So now we're going to go up to VRM 0, and I'm going to export to VRM 0. So up here, you'll see the language. It's either Japanese or English. It defaults to Japanese, I believe. So just be aware of that. I'm then going to click Make T-Pose. Boom. Awesome. And actually, one thing. No, that should be right. That's great. Now you can go in, you can set a thumbnail for your VRM file because the VRM is a standard that contains a lot of additional metadata, including the thumbnail. You need a title, version, and author. You can put all of these other details around here too. And then there's also personation or characterization permission. So this basically gives, adds pieces of metadata that says what you can and cannot do with it. So it's very useful to ensure that if you don't want violent sexual acts or commercial use, to disallow this here. So I'm going to call this base homie. I'm going to call this 1.0 and meta mic, and that's all I need. So I'm going to export this, and let's export base homie VRM to the project folder. Excellent. Now there's many ways I could view this, but one of the simplest for me is going to Webiverse, webiverse.com. If you're unfamiliar with Webiverse, get familiar. That is all I'll say. And where should I go? I decided this before, but I've forgotten. Let's just go to the gun room, maybe. Okay. Interesting. So actually, I'm going to change the scene to grid, make things really simple. So here I am on a grid. Now, if I want to test my VRM avatar, I just go to, where do I have it? Unity 2019, oh, sorry, projects, base homie, and then base homie VRM. I'm going to drag and drop base homie VRM in, and I'm going to equip to myself. And here I am. Base homie. Look at that. Running around, doing some cool shit. If I want to, let's get a sword and pull it up to my first inventory set. I click 1, I can start slicing and dicing. I can fly, and we're all set. So that is how you create your VRM from an FBX. And there's many other applications for the VRM. This is simply just one. I can go in, I can probably edit the shaders a bit more, or the materials to make them a bit shinier for the skin, or just change a couple of things around. But just wanted to walk through this basic process of how to get this FBX to a VRM and start using it in virtual worlds. Let me know in the comments